sure many of us, if not all of us, from time to time, have been involved in conversations with people who say to us, why do you keep associating with church? Why do you keep on associating with religion? Don't you see all of the terrible things that religion has done and continues to do in our world? Some of that, of course, for us as Catholics, comes out of the terrible abuse crisis. But there's a wider objection even that's given against religion in general by people who say religion is the greatest cause of warfare, of violence, of hatred, of division in the world. Now, there is an appropriate response to that, which I'll get to in a moment. Because first, if we are to respond to that, we do need, honestly, to look at the ways in which religion has been used, not been the cause of it. That's an important distinction, to cause hatred and violence and division. And it has, for us as Christians, it has happened right from the very beginning. You'll remember last week, Jesus sparring with the Sadducees, the priests, who used their religious authority to try to get rid of him, because they didn't like this new ideal of the kingdom of love, truth, justice that he was seeking to bring in. Today we hear something different. In the gospel, Jesus is talking about the fact that bringing about the kingdom of God will involve struggle, will involve difficulty. It involved his own crucifixion. And he's talking about the way in which it will not finally come to completion until the end of the world, and that initially is going to be a time also of difficulty. But it's fascinating how from the very beginning of Christianity, because these letters to the Thessalonians, of which we read the second today, are the very first pieces of the New Testament, written even before the Gospels were finalized. And Paul is already talking to people who are misusing religion for their own purposes. In two different ways, you noticed. Some of them are saying, oh, Jesus is coming back soon, so we don't have to do anything. I'm just going to sit around here on my hands. I'll let other people worry about raising the funds we need for food or raising the food itself. And Paul is saying, you only listened to half of that section of the gospel. You only listened to the part that says that Jesus is coming back, not the fact that he said, we don't know when that's going to be, and it's important for you to keep on doing what you're doing in the meantime. But they only listened to what they wanted to listen to. They only heard what they wanted to hear, and that led them off in a bad direction. The other group of people, you notice, that he's talking to are the people who are saying, well, Jesus is coming, the kingdom of God is going to happen, and therefore I have to tell you how to be better prepared for it. People, as Paul said, get interested in everybody else's business rather than worrying about their own. Rather than looking at the ways in which they can help bring about the kingdom of God, they're going to be bothering other people all the time, judging other people all the time, condemning other people all the time. Once again, it's because they've only heard half of the message. They've only heard what they want to hear. They've only listened to what they want to listen to. And when that happens, then that so easily can allow religion to be twisted by various leaders, religious or secular, into something that becomes terrible and can become destructive. So I promised you I would offer a response to the people who say, isn't religion the cause of all this terrible violence in the world? What I found myself saying is, I've asked the individual, in all of human history, what's the century that has been the most destructive, the most violent? And if they're honest, they'll say the 20th century. Maybe the 21st will become that, but certainly the centuries completed the 20th. And then I say, and what's the century that is the most secular, the most irreligious in the history of the world? And if they're honest, they have to say the 20th. Look at all of the destruction, 2 world wars, the Holocaust, the Gulag, in which Stalin killed more people even than Hitler, the killing fields in Cambodia, over and over again. None of this was caused by religion. Indeed, the only aspect of religion entering into all of that was the Holocaust, where people were killed because of their religion. So, the reality is, it's not religion, it's anything that's important, that's valuable, can be twisted by people to turn it into something that is a cause for division, a cause for terror. So, what do we learn from that? I would suggest 2 things. First, it's important for us, more and more, to try to understand our religion fully, to continue to study, to continue to read the scriptures on a regular basis, to continue to allow ourselves to come to programs like the Alpha that was so successful here among our 3 parishes, and that we will be doing again in a while, where people gather and seek to understand better what is it that we believe, what is it that we teach, so that people can't come in and corrupt it and twist it and turn it around into something that's evil. The second thing I think that we learn from that, from these scriptures today, is we always need to be careful about leaders, religious leaders, political leaders, media leaders, whoever. People who take the things that we believe and try to use them for their own power to make us divided, to make us hate one another, to make us turn against other people, to look down at other people, to begin fearing other people, to want to separate ourselves from other people. And we all know there are leaders in all of these groups who seek to do that, contrary to what Jesus teaches, contrary to what the gospel is, contrary to what real religion is all about. But they will appeal to us as Christians and say, these are the people you have to suspect, these are the people you have to fear, these are the people you have to throw out, these are the people you have to push away. And all of that is, once again, that twisting of our values, twisting of our beliefs, that then does lead to violence, to hatred. As we gather here each week at the Lord's table, let us ask the Spirit of God to help us truly understand what our religion teaches, truly understand what Jesus calls us to, truly understand who we are as a people of faith, so that strengthened by his own body and blood, we may then truly work with him, not against the coming of the kingdom of God, but for the coming of the kingdom of God.